Alright, so hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you my process on how I make a pain type dancehall beat. So yeah, so let's just jump right into it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is first find our scale. So we're going to select D sharp minor scale and just lay out some bass notes that we're going to use to structure our chords and then our melody. So we're just going to find some bass notes that work together, that sound good, that give off the vibe that we're going for, which is like a pain type of dancehall melody. So we're just going to lay down our notes and find something that works. Alright, so we can work with this now. So get our bass notes, everything sounds good. So now we're just going to build our chords off of that. So build our basic chords in the key of D minor, skip every note in the scale, and you create a triad chord. And yeah, let's build out the basis of our melody. Alright, so right here I'm just inverting some of the notes, to give a different feel to the melody. So if you realize, I just invert like the first 4 bars and just leave the other 4 bars as is. So the first 4 bars have a different feel than the second. So it feels like there's a lot of movement in the melody, so it really accentuates that pain feeling or emotional feeling. So now we're just gonna start adding in some top line to our chords to try and make an interesting melody, something that we can listen throughout the whole song and still be entertained by it. It still sounds good. Alright, so initially this is what I came up with. Still a little bit rough, but it still sounds good. We're going to do a little bit of work on it in the future, but for now we can work with that and continue to build on our beat. So alright, so here I'm changing the sample I'm using for the piano. This one just has a little bit more emotion to it, brings out more feelings in the melody, which I think is better for this type of beat that I'm going to make. So yeah, change it to this one. Alright, so now I'm adding a violin lead to the melody, something that also helps with the whole feel of the beat, adding a new element to it that keeps the whole beat interesting. So just going to find a pattern here that works with the melody that we already built and continue on from there. Alright, so now we have our violin lead, I guess you can call it. So we just fine tune some of the notes, make sure we have everything right, everything's in tune, in key, and makes sense in accordance with the original melody. So that's all we're doing, just building off the last melody. So now we're going to add some accents to the melody again, just to spice it up. Alright, so here I thought I should have added a second one. Or here. Alright, so I'm adding another accent here. Just to complement the first one. So it kind of works together. It's like a call and response. So one plays and then a little bit after you hear the other one. So I think it works good together. And that would be our melody. That would be good enough for a melody for now. So we start off with some drums. So we layer our kick drums and snares and continue building the beat. So here I'm just adding some room shots just to complement the snare pattern. So it just adds a little bit of bounce to the beat. So yeah, we're just going. Alright, now so time for the bass. So here just going to basically follow the root notes of the bass notes of the melody that we had at first, and just layer our bass accordingly. So just going to layer it with the bass notes and just find a pattern that's interesting, that works, so that someone can listen to. So we just feel it out until we get something that makes sense. Alright, so here we have our bass, our 808s basically sorted out. So we're just going to add a little spice to it. So add a few extra notes here and there, do some slide notes, just to make the bass line a bit more interesting and unique. So yeah. So in addition to our 808 bass, I'm going to also use a sub bass throughout the beat. So whenever I don't want the 808 to play, I'll just put in the sub bass. So the sub bass is still a bass, but it adds a different feeling to the 808. In some periods in the beat where you don't want a lot of energy, but you still want, you know, that lower frequency presence, you can use a sub bass, and it just adds a whole new tone to the beat, which is really good. Just a contrast between the 808 and the sub bass in most dancehall beats is just great. So I think it's always a good thing to add them to your beats. So here we're just going to lay down a hi-hat pattern, simple 2-step first, and then I'm going to go into the piano roll and just, spice it up a little bit, make it more interesting, add some rolls, add some pauses, some places, just to accentuate the beat, essentially add some bounce. Yeah, so let's personalize the hi-hats for an interesting pattern, something nice to listen to while you listen to the beat. So once you find a hi-hat pattern that we like, you can just copy it over and let it repeat every 4 bars basically. You can then add a little bit of variation at some points, just to spice it up. So just here I'm now just tweaking the melody a little bit, make it a little bit more interesting, add a few notes here and there just to spice it up and make the beat feel more, unique. So once I found what works, I'm just gonna do some leveling, just bring up the velocity of the top notes a little bit, just so you can hear them clearer in the mix, because some of the notes were they're kind of low, so you couldn't really hear them. So yeah, just bringing them up in the mix so they're more clear. Alright, so at this point, I've already added all the elements I wanted to the beat, so I'm just mixing all of them now. So mixing the melodic elements, adding reverb, EQing, effects, everything, and leveling each sound so that everything is coherent in the mix. Yeah, so this process took a little bit, so I just sped it up. Alright, so now it's time for the arrangement section. So here, I just added a 8-bar intro, then a 12-bar verse, then a 4-bar pre-hook that leads into the chorus, which is 8 bars, and then I just copy that over to repeat. So 2 verses, chorus or the hook gets to play twice, and then I have an outro after. So in this process, you can see me I added an open hat just to add another element to the beat. Then I added some transitions to it also, and a crash. So after every 8 bar plays, you hear the crash signaling a new 8 bar, and the transitions for when I'm going into the pre-hook and then out of the pre-hook into the chorus, just so the artist knows or the listener knows when you're making that switch. Alright, so we're basically finished with the beat now, so I'll just play it at the end for you guys to hear. And yeah, that's basically it, how to make a pain style dancehall beat.